Good evening, students, to day two of Proactive Cyber Defense Engineering using Python by Cybervidyapeeth in association with AICTE and CERT-In. Today we have a lot to cover. I'll be starting at 6 on the dot. So I'm making this announcement a few minutes before, as you were already informed to join a little before. At exactly 6, we'll be starting. Please make sure to have your laptop or desktop ready with all the softwares that we have already informed you to install beforehand. Please refrain from texting in YouTube too much. Only put genuine questions in there because it can get hard to track a lot of questions. If you do not follow our rules, we have a Python program which will block you. So please take care of that. If you spam, or we saw that there was a high rate of spam last time around. So if you do something along those lines, you will be blocked from the course. Hope to see you guys there at 6. Because of large number of students, okay, we have decided to conduct classes on YouTube. That's why even in the Telegram group only the YouTube link has been shared. So we recommend all students to just join the YouTube live stream. You're not going to have any issues on the YouTube front. That is a guarantee on our end, a technical guarantee. And please refrain from asking for the Zoom link. Okay, if you mention that many times, the bot may give you a timeout, or it may flag you as a spammer, because we have programmed it that way. Okay, we are not providing Zoom link because we are not doing the meeting on Zoom. Okay, it's on YouTube. So please make sure that you are joining us on YouTube on the live stream, and you can we have two people answering questions left and right, and a bot as well. So everything is curated on YouTube. So we highly recommend everyone to please join YouTube. If your friends are also taking the course, please inform them to join on YouTube. Okay, the link has been put in the Telegram group. If you're still not on the Telegram and you're listening to me right now, please join the Telegram group. We'll be starting in 10 minutes. I can see many students have doubts that is there no MS Teams? No. If you've been following us, we are no longer using MS Teams. We are only using YouTube for the students. Okay. So as a student, your job is to only watch the YouTube live stream. All the links, the materials, and all of such documents will be shared in the Telegram group, and watching the course will be done through the YouTube link, which will be shared to you around 1 to 2 hours before class every single day in Telegram. So this is why I keep saying that it is important to be a part of the Telegram. Okay, so make sure you're there on the Telegram. We will be using Telegram and YouTube only as far as the students are concerned. Okay, so Telegram, make sure you're part of that so that you get the YouTube links. You can just click on YouTube, and everyone has the YouTube app either on their system or on their mobile phone, so you can easily watch our live streams at high definition quality. Yes, we are decided that we'll be going with VS Code and not VS Codium for most of this course, because VS Code is easy to use. Okay, it requires less setup, so less people will have problems. It's easier to install across all platforms. So VS Code is what we are recommending, and even what I'm going to use today to teach you how to code. Okay, so if you are just a beginner who's following, go with Anaconda and VS Code. Eyes closed, especially if you're on Windows. Okay, it makes your job so much more easier. If you're on something like some very obscure Linux like Arch Linux, for example, then I am expecting you to have the knowledge to install Python by yourself, because Arch Linux again is an advanced distribution. Classes will start at 6 in just a minute. Okay, so let's start today's lesson. Okay, so again, if you have your friends joining this session with us as well and they've registered in the form, please make sure that you are telling them to come here on this link right here, and that you're not going to something like MS Teams or Zoom or whatever. We are not using any of those platforms. We're just using YouTube and Telegram. I repeat, we're just using YouTube and Telegram. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go ahead. Before starting, I would like to remind you to like our stream and subscribe to our channel, because we will be putting out standalone videos regarding different things in cybersecurity, ethical hacking, and cyber defense engineering, starting from solving hack the box boxes, try hack me, Pentester Academy, and a lot of other cool stuff. We'll be dealing with Active Directory and many, red teaming and blue teaming concepts. So we'll be having many more materials dropped onto the YouTube channel. So I recommend that you subscribe to our channel and that you like all our videos and streams, because that helps us also keep a consistent supply of content for all of you. Okay. So with that in mind, let's begin. I'm going to share my screen now, so you should be able to see it in just a second. And I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys my virtual box, okay, which is a tool that lets you run other operating systems. As you can clearly see, we have two operating systems here. We have the AICTE Ubuntu, which is just a name I've given it, and Kali Linux. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you some basics of Python, which I've already shown in the first class in Kali Linux as well, before moving on. Okay. So I'm going to hit the green start button at the top, middle, and then I'm going to give it a few seconds and a box is going to pop up. And this box will also have a message which says starting, virtual machine. So there we go. Now I'm just going to go ahead and start up the virtual machine. And again, those who do not know what Kali Linux is, you can refer the website kali.org. Again, a link to that will be shared into Telegram and YouTube chat now. Okay, so that's kali.org. Okay, so you can download this virtual machine from there. They have very good support, fantastic forums, and overall a massive community which will help you get into cybersecurity and cyber defense engineering. So I'm going to log in. Excuse me. And now you should be able to see my Kali Linux screen, right? So that's perfect. So now I'm going to come here at the top where, after the Firefox icon, we have an icon which says Terminal Emulator. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to increase the font size and then go full screen. So you're able to clearly see any and all commands I type from this point on. So here, the first command, and I'm going to show you some 3-4 basic commands, okay? Because this is not a Linux course, but I want you to be able to navigate Linux in case you have just downloaded it. The most basic command you want to know when you start a terminal in Linux is ls, which stands for list files or folders or directories or anything. Basically, ls just basically means list. And this command allows you to see all the files and folders in your current directory. Now, the word directory is used in the Mac OS and the Linux world, and it means folder. Okay. So if you're from the Windows world and you've never touched Mac or Linux, directory means folder. Now that I've typed ls, you can see that I have a bunch of folders here, right? CV, desktop, documents, download, music, pictures. All of these are default folders that you get in Kali Linux. Okay. So I've not really changed anything. I just pulled it off from the Kali website, loaded it in my system, and opened it up. This is a very simple step to do. And there are at least 1,000 videos on YouTube showing you how to do this. So you can just Google up Kali VirtualBox install how to, and you will find hundreds and thousands of tutorials ranging back as old as 2014 to all the way to 2014-15 all the way to 2020, right? Since last week also I have seen 2 videos pop up. So there are many videos showing you how to do this, so I'm not covering this here. Now in here, Python's already installed, and I know that by typing Python and hitting enter. When I do that, I'm dropped into the Python shell, okay, the Linux Python shell, and it actually tells you that this is the Python 3.10.5 main as of June 8, 2022. So this version of Python was created on June 8, 2022. It was compiled using GCC, which is 11.30, which is a compiler. Again, what is a compiler? What is an interpreter? That's a slightly more advanced topic I'll be coming to in a little bit. And this is on the Linux system. Okay. Now you can, of course, use help, copyright credits, license, and all these keywords here to get more information. I'm not going to go into those right now. I'm just going to show you the same command that I showed you last time, which is print. Inside double quotes, I'm going to type hello, comma, space, Cybervidyapeeth, exclamation mark. Okay, there we go. I'm going to hit enter, and it prints out the message for us. So now we know that Python works out of the box in the Kali Linux virtual machine that you can download from kali.org. Okay, this is very important. I repeat, this is very important because you will have to use Kali Linux towards the end of the course. So I recommend setting it up in the first 2-3 days, so you don't have to worry about setup from say the 3rd day or the 4th day. Okay, you don't have to worry. So that is why I say go with the setup now. Moving on, I'm going to go ahead and show you a very, very interesting, trick. And again, why this trick happens is going to be a mystery until I teach you that topic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to type print. So same command, print hello Cybervidyapeeth. But I'm going to multiply it. The star is a multiplication symbol by 10. And it's going to throw an error. Okay. That is because I pretty sure that I messed up somewhere. Okay, let's see where I messed up. Do I remember to do this correctly? And I do. Perfect. So what just happened, right? When I say print hello Cybervidyapeeth star 10 or multiply whatever is in quotes by 10, what happened? What happened is that the statement Cybervidyapeeth, the string itself was created 10 times. It was generated 10 times. And then it was supplied to this magical keyword called print. And then print went ahead and printed it 10 times. So you can actually count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So you can clearly see that, we have 10 prints here, which means it worked. So you might ask me, okay, sir, will it work, if I print something completely different? Say that I print, just the exclamation mark. That's it, 10 times. Of course, it's going to work. And this is actually, a precursor to buffer overflows. Because, when we'll be discussing how to attack a system and how to hit a service on a remote system and how to take control of it and how to write your own Python script to do that, you will realize that Python's print statement and this behavior to multiply any character by a huge number is much more powerful when you're dealing with remote applications. So for example, I can actually type 1000 here and it's going to print 1000 exclamation marks right up on my screen. Now this looks very ugly, I agree, but things we do for learning, right? So now we know that Python works in Kali, right? So that's all I wanted to show you, because this is the most straight out of the install, right? You won't have to really do a lot here because Kali will already have Python installed. And just to give you an example, if you're on Kali, the following command can be used to install libraries, third-party libraries. Libraries are basically code written by someone else. Okay, so you can install or get or download the code written by someone else on your system to use. A good example of such said code is the library called Impacket, which is a very powerful library. We'll be discussing a lot in the third part of the course, which is going to be the Python for security part of the course. Okay, so I'm just going to hit enter, and what is going to happen is it's going to try to find the package. If it can already find the package, it's just going to tell you, hey, I already found the package. It's in this folder. If it can't find it, it will try to install it. So let me try to see if I can install something that doesn't exist. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, Kali already comes with everything. It's like a full batteries included system. So this is how you install. You just type the name of the library you want after pip install, and you hit enter. And you must be connected to the internet for this command. Okay, so make sure that if you're doing this on your Windows or on your Mac system, you are connected to your internet. Okay, if you're not, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. Okay, so make sure that you're connected to the internet when you're running such commands, and you will be able to get these libraries, right? So for example, I don't think that Django is installed. It's already is. Wow, man, Kali comes with Kali is amazing. That is something even new for me. I did not know that Django was installed in Kali. So, you just by installing this virtual machine, you already have access to more than 90% of things you'll need for this course. Okay, this makes both your job as the student and my job as the teacher easy. Now I can just give you the code and you can run the code, right? Or you could write your own code and it will still work. So both things are possible now. So I highly recommend having a Kali Linux virtual machine. You will need a minimum of 8 GB RAM on your laptop or desktop. More specifications can be found on the Kali Linux website. So please refer the Kali Linux website. To stop a virtual machine in VirtualBox, you can go to machine ACPI shutdown and just hit that. And it's going to give you an option here. You can see Kali detected that, I'm trying to shut down Kali. So it gave me an option. I am going to disable this save session for future login button, and I'm going to hit shutdown. And this is going to switch off or power off my Kali system. You can see I also have a Ubuntu system, but that's just a test system that I use for my internal work. So that's not required right now. So let's close that up. So we are back at Anaconda Navigator. And what I want to do is I want to close VS Code and launch it from inside the Anaconda Navigator. To do that, I'll come down here, making sure that the base environment is selected, the root environment. And I'm going to hit launch. Once I launch, I'm going to give it a few seconds to set up all the settings. And there we go. We have our old hello.py program. So here you can see I have a few lines of code, and the people who have not attended our repeat class might not recognize this. So I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to just have a look at the code. And I want people to actually start typing what they think is going to be the output of this code in the YouTube chat. Okay, so I want you guys to look at the code. Don't type it on your own. Okay, read it and tell me what the output will be. Because see, this concept, okay, what I'm telling you to do in your mind right now, this is called dry run, meaning we are not actually running the code on the system. We are running it in our heads or on paper, and we are giving an output. We are using the human brain, just as Python has its own brain that figures out what the language is and runs the code. So I'm telling you to do a dry run of this program and tell me what the output is going to be. Okay, I can see people, going 95 false. Those who have written false with a small f are wrong. You need to be very careful with Python. F is capital. Okay. Okay, I can see people saying 95 false, true, 3.14 and 10.001001001. Okay, perfect. So it looks like you have understood what the what the goal of the print statement is and what it actually lets you do, which is perfect to see. I want you to do this on your own. Okay, and as we get into more advanced concepts like branching and looping and conditional statements, I am not going to run the programs, okay? And it will be long programs. You will have to do it on paper first. Figure out the logic, give me the reply. You will have 2 minutes for every program that I write, and then put it in the chat window, okay, on YouTube. Once you do that, only then I am going to move on and run the code myself and show you the output. So now I'm going to show you the output. I'm going to hit the run button here at the top right, and it's going to do some magic. And here is your output. I'm going to clean the output for you guys because the output's a little bad. Yeah, there we go. So here you should be able to see this part, right? Hello Cybervidyapeeth is the first thing that gets printed. Many people did not write that. I don't know why, because the print statement's literally at the top. Then you have 95, then you have false with F capital, true with T capital. These are reserved keywords in Python, okay? So you cannot make the F small or the T small. You have to keep it capital. Then 3.14 is a floating value for Python. And then finally you have 10.001001001, which is a complex number in Python, not a double. I heard some people say that, double in Python. Python at the lower level actually does not have the data type double defined. Okay. If you ever read it that, something is a double in Python, it's not. Okay. Also, I can see some people are requesting me to change languages. Okay. So I'm sorry to say, because we have people all over India. Okay. I cannot do that, unfortunately, So, I would recommend that you do one thing. You slow down the speed of the stream. In YouTube, you can slow the stream if you're having trouble keeping up with my speed of English. You can slow the stream down on YouTube and then listen to it. This way, you will be able to understand, better. Because see, the thing is that whether we like it or not, English is the language of the world. Okay. If you're doing a job somewhere, if you're learning Python to get a job, in cyber defense, or just become a developer also, or a debugger, whatever you want your job to be, English is going to be absolutely essential. Okay. So, I'm sorry to say, but I cannot change my language. So, I just request you guys to slow the stream speed down. If you cannot understand my speed, you can't keep up with me. I'm trying my best here to, also go slow, because this is very bare bones basic programming. We have not even got into if else statements yet. So, I'm trying to take you guys step by step. I'll take it slow. We are not going to delay it. The course can become 30 to 90 days also, but I want every single one of you to understand what I'm teaching. That is the goal here. Okay. I want you to, as they say, know the back, the front, the right, and the left of Python. Okay. When I ask you, even half asleep at 2 in the night, you wake up and you answer my Python questions. That is the level of understanding we want everyone attending this course to have. As such, please bear with me a little bit. Okay. So moving on, now that we have seen the output of this code, I'm just going to delete this, save the file, and I'm now going to move towards the PPT. So last time we had seen till this section, right? Data types. We had seen till data types. So today I'm going to show you Python operators, and I've actually shown you one. That is why I said that it is a precursor to today's class. I've already shown you what an operator, one of the operators, okay? And we'll be looking at bunch of operators. Okay? So one thing to know about me as an instructor, I do believe in practical learning over theoretical learning. Okay, I could tell you that there are 7-8 types of operators, and this is this, this is that, this is that. But you're not here for a theory exam. Okay, you're here to learn to code. So let's jump right into code. Okay, because you guys have already seen the slides, so I don't want to waste time on slides. Let's jump in, and I'm going to show you what operators really are. So there are many kinds of operators. I'm going to start with our basic mathematical operators. So I'm going to make a comment. Again, remember, comments are parts of programs that Python does not run. And let's go for our basic mathematics. So in maths, some basic operations that you can do is plus, right? You can subtract, also known as minus, addition, subtraction. You can do multiplication, and then the division symbol does not exist on my keyboard, so I'm just going to use a slash for it. So you can see that there are 4 mathematical, also known as arithmetic operations that any mathematics around the world allows you to do, right? Even in Python, you can do the same thing. So in Python, the equivalent is plus, minus, star, and slash for divide. Remember, this slash is for divide. Okay. So okay, give me a sec. I can see there are many questions here. Just give me a sec. Okay, I can see that people are asking how to install Kali Linux on MacBook, how to configure VS Code. If you're having issues with Kali Linux specifically, VS Code I've already shown today, okay? And in last class also I showed VS Code and VS Codium same install, and the names of the extensions are already in the Telegram group, okay? So you can get the extensions and you can just YouTube, you can Google it up, how to install extensions in VS Code, and the list is already given to you. For that specific part, how to install Kali Linux in a virtual machine on Mac OS, we can have a separate class. We do have a fellow cyber defense expert who does use Mac and who does have a Kali setup. So if you want, we will definitely play around with that. Okay. I'm also getting a message that the font is slow, small in the terminal. So give me a second. I'll try to increase the font. Okay, so I've increased the font, so you guys should be able to see the terminal as well as the code that I'm writing pretty clearly now. Okay, if you ever have any issues with not being able to see the font or the system, please type so in the YouTube chat. We'll do it immediately. Okay. I apologize on my front. My screen is a little big, so I didn't realize that the font was not coming properly. So moving on, we're talking about the arithmetic operators, right? So here are some arithmetic operators, and here's how you play around with them. So say that you have one variable called a, which has a value of 10, and another variable or box with a value of 3. Okay. Now, if you want to add them together, you can create a variable called add, and you can add a plus b and store that value in another box called add. So what we are doing here is we are taking the new box add. Okay, the new box is called add, and putting the value of a plus b into the box. Okay, this is exactly what we're doing. So for anyone that has confusion, this is exactly what we have done. And don't worry, this code will be shared in Telegram. Okay, so if you're there on Telegram, you'll get the code. Don't worry about that. Now, if we are subtracting, or as we call it in India, minus, right? Say a minus b, then this is how you do it. And again, we are just doing putting a minus b into sub box. This is basically what we're doing, right? The third thing that I'm going to show you is going to be multiply. This is multiplication. As we can see, multiplication is done using the star in Python. So I'm going to do a star b. And then for division 1, and I'll tell you why I said division 1, I'm going to divide a by b. And then for division 2, I'm going to divide, that's right, you guessed it, b by a. So I have just reversed the division, because division is possible on both ends. Okay, 10 can also divide 3, 3 can also divide 10. So basic maths. So for now, I'm going to stop here. There are more arithmetic operators in Python, but I'm not touching them right now. There are around, I think, 3 more. There's a reason I'm not touching them. First, let's see the output of all of these. So I'm going to use our handy dandy print statement. And in bracket, I am going to add the add variable so that you can see the value of the add variable. And I'm going to just copy and paste. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in the subtract variable, copy and put in the multiply variable, and the division 1 variable and division 2 variable. Okay. So now we have all the print statements done. So can you all quickly calculate what is going to be the value for all these variables? And I want only a single message. So say that you know that a plus b is 13. So I want 13 comma a minus b value comma a into b value comma a divided by b value comma b divided by a value. Okay, give me in one line. I don't want 7 lines in YouTube chat. Okay, otherwise the bot will block you. So don't spam. Give me an answer. Again, this is basic maths. You can do mental maths, right? How Python will give you the reply, right? And I'm waiting. I'll give you guys 1 minute before running the program. Okay, I can see many people are getting it right, many are getting it wrong as well, and many are just copy pasting it. Please don't do that. Please try it yourself. Okay, so I'm going to hit the run button, and here's the output. We have 13, 7, 30, 30, 30, 3.333333333335 and 0.3. Okay, these are all the values. A was 10 and B was 3. So let's see how many people got it right. I can see that 45% from our systems and 45 to 50%. Half of you have gotten it wrong. Okay, so the way you need to think of it is like so. Okay, how would you do it in real life? A plus B, right? 10 plus 3, 30. How would you subtract it? 10 minus 3. Just replace the variable with the number. So 10 minus 3 gives you 7, hence the value 7. To multiply 10 into 3 gives you 30. I have seen many people have gotten the multiplication wrong. I don't know why. 10 plus 3, right guys? 30. Then you divide. So a divided by me means a will be up. So 10 by 3. 10 by 3 is pretty clear. It's going to be 3.3333. Because if you have to divide 10 into so many parts by 3, that's clearly going to be the number that you get. It's going to go till infinity. Actually, it's going to be 3.33 mod, 3.33 mod. If you've been following your high school mathematics. And then the division 2 is pretty clear, it's going to be 0.3 because it's going to be 3 divided by 10. So whenever you divide anything by 10, you can just shift the decimal point. So you can also think of this as this specific division as 3.0 divided by 10, and the 10 pushes the decimal point ahead of 3. So the answer becomes 0.3. Okay, this is how you can think of it in your head if you're doing some mental maths, quickly. This is not how computers do it. Okay, in computers at lower level at binary, it's completely different. But as programmers of Python, we are not worried about how our computer works at the deep level right now. So I can see now most of you have gotten your answers correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and go down. Now I want to know something. Okay, so I'm going to comment all this code out. How did I comment all this code? I selected all of it, and then I pressed Control \. Okay, and it is a shortcut in Visual Studio Code to automatically comment all the lines you've selected. Now I'm going to show you the last 3 remaining arithmetic operators, which are the sorry, yes. So which are the flotation, the floor division, not the flotation, the floor division. And what is the floor division? How it's special? I'll show you. So you'll have to see the output for that. So I'm not telling you to guess these 3. Okay, these 3 are more advanced arithmetic operators. You don't have to guess these. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to type division 3 equals A//B. Okay, then I am going to have mod, which is another function you can do, which basically gives you the remainder of the division, A mod B. And then you want to have P equals, which is to the power, so A to the power B. Okay, so we have 3 new variables introduced, right? So let's try printing them and seeing what output we get, because I'm not expecting you guys to know this. Okay, so these are slightly more advanced, so we're just going to see the output and try to understand what happened. And print statement is always going to be your helping hand, your buddy, who's going to get you the output you want or sometimes you need. So now I'm going to press CTRLS and just run the file. And now if I run the file, you will see 3, 1 and 1000. So what division 3 has done is it has floored the division, and you can actually see the difference if I show you print div1. So just before this, if I print here just before the div1, if I print the first division, which was, if I'm not wrong, A divides B, and I run that, you can see that the normal division gives us this crazy infinite value, right? But because, and I'm only going to say this twice, so please hear me out, because this value is less than 3.5, it could have been 4.5, 7.5, whatever, but because it's less than 0.5, the floor division, this parameter is called as floor division, has decreased the value and removed or truncated the additional decimal after decimal data. Okay, and it has just made the number 3. Then if you look at what has happened here with the mod gives you remainder of the division. Okay, so the remainder of the division is usually what you get. I'm pretty sure you guys remember division, right? So when you divide something by something, you always get a remainder. Sometimes it's some number, sometimes it's 0, right? You have the divisor, you have the dividend, you have the quotient and the remainder. All this is class 7-8 mathematics. Okay, so I'm expecting you guys to know all this. So here in the remainder of the division is stored in the identifier variable called mod, and we are doing A mod B. Okay, so when A divides B, the number 1 is the remainder. Hence, we get, also this is read as A divides B. Okay, just so you know, this line is read as A divides B. Okay. Then you have the power operation, okay, which is basically just two stars or two multiplication symbols together, which is A to the power of B. So in mathematics, this would look something like A to the power of B, or A is 10, so 10 to the power of 3. Okay, so 10 raised to the power of 3, which, you know, it's pretty niche and simple. So this is just your basic power and exponential values. We can play around with exponential values quite a lot here, and we will be doing this again in the section of buffer overflows. We'll be discussing this, and this, the multiplication. These three are going to be the most important when we're dealing with cybersecurity related problems. Okay, but I still want you to know that, you know, these all exist in Python, and you can use them for your program logic. A nice trick that people use is that when something is divided by 2, right, based on the remainder, you can actually find out if the number is even or odd, which is a very common logic used by programming software all around the world to find out if a number is even or odd. So that's just one example of how you can use arithmetic operators in your program. And you might be asking me, you know, sir, why would I want to find out if my number is, you know, even or odd, or something that the user has given? You know, there can be hundreds of reasons behind this. Say that you have a data set, and in that data set you have both odd and even values. Say it's the number of cars, okay, and this is Delhi. So in Delhi, we know that, you know, whenever there is extreme traffic, the odd even rule applies. So the government has a database of odd even car numbers. How do they filter? How do they know what number is odd, what number is even? The person looking at the number will understand, because we are human beings. Okay, something divided by 2 is even, but how does the computer know? So this is the logic behind that. Okay, there is a Java or a Python program there which figures out and creates two different lists for odd and for even car numbers. So this is a very real world example that happens in India, right, of how the arithmetic operators are beneficial. And there's of course much more complicated algorithms and examples that you can do. Again, you know, we'll be having projects based around these, so you don't have to worry too much right now. I just want to make sure that everyone has understood the basic concept of arithmetic operators. You know, I don't want to chain and create complex logic right now. We'll stick to the basics and we'll understand the basics properly. Okay, so the next type of operators that exist are, am I typing it right? Compare. Okay, so they're the comparison operators. Okay, now this is where the fun begins. The comparison operators are basically those operators which let you compare two values. So these are all the comparison operators. You have the greater than, the less than, you have the equals to, you have the not equals to, you have the greater than equals to, you have the lesser than equals to, sorry, greater than equals to and lesser than equals to. Then you have the is and is not. So these are all different. So I'm going to use comma to separate them so that you know the difference between each and every one. Okay, so these are the so-called comparison operators that are built inside Python. Again, I can see people asking for recorded lectures. I think I made it pretty clear, you know, that recorded lectures will be available of every single class that we have, including the repeats, on a specific platform, and you'll have to purchase that, because, you know, that actually costs us some money to store in such high quality. So that will be shared to you soon, don't worry. You know, by I think today night or tomorrow somewhere around 12 or 1, we'll have it already, so you don't have to worry about that. The work is already underway. So once you are given the links, you can just purchase the material, and all the material, all 200 hours of material, the videos, the quizzes, the code, the programs, the sample code, everything will be available to you. Okay. So don't worry about that. Focus on the live class right now. I can see people asking for recorded videos while I'm teaching. I don't know why. So please focus on the live class right now. So I'm going to move ahead. Okay, some people are saying they need a little bit time. Okay, so if you guys want a break, you can take a short 70-second break. We'll be back after around 70 seconds. Okay. And I can see people are saying screen is blurred, which is not true, because I'm running it in 6 different devices here. So if you're having issues with the screen quality, please check your internet connection once. Okay. Just go to fast.com, fast.com, and check your internet connection speed. If your internet connection is not good enough, then you're going to have issues. Okay. So right now it's 6:42. We are going to take a break for about 2 to 3 minutes. We'll be back at 6:46 or 6:45, somewhere along those lines. The classes will go till 8 o'clock. Okay, non-stop. If you guys want, I'll give you a break at 8 for dinner. Okay. Okay, guys. I hope you've had a productive break. Let's get back into it. So we are going to have a look at comparison operators now. So let's start one by one. We'll start with the most basic comparison operators first. So I'm going to again define two values of A. Again, let's take the same value, A equals 10, b equals 3. Okay, and I'm going to now show you guys a simple trick. Rather than having, say, a variable equals something divided by something, will, if you just want to print it up, you can actually use the print function to do these calculations. So inside the print statement, I'm going to type a is greater than b, and I'm going to copy this statement again. Okay, a few times, and I'm just going to change the symbol because I want to see what the output is going to be. And this is basically half of programming. Okay, you trying things out, seeing what the output's going to be, how something looks in the print command, and have you made the right decision or not. Okay, so this is the is one, and then one more is this. Okay, so before I run this command, I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. I want you to go ahead, do a dry run of this, try to figure out using your existing mathematical knowledge what is going to happen here. Okay, in exactly 2 minutes, I'll tell you the answer. Interesting. So I'm back. I can see the output. People are saying true, false, false, true, true, false, true. True, false, false, true, true, false, true. Okay. So let's run the code and we can see that, that the output is here. So true, 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 false, true, true, false. Okay. Wait a second. You guys cheat. Interesting. I can still see some people have missed one false. Okay. For some reason. So if you're having issue, you might want to run this code on your own end as well. Okay. So again, you can, the stream is going to stay on YouTube for around 5 or 10 minutes after I end the stream, and you can always just go back and watch it, or you could just buy the bundle and you'll have access to all of this material. And the code itself will be shared to you on Telegram, so you don't have to worry really about that. So let's move on. Those were the comparison operators. Okay. Now we are going to discuss the next class of operators. So, okay, cool. Yes, you guys have got it. So the next class of operators are logical operators. So logical, as the name suggests, they help you build logic. Okay. So the logical operators are the and, or, and not operators. Only three. Okay, very simple. Okay. So an example of them is going to be A equals true and B equals false, and then we'll be going ahead and printing A and B. Okay, we'll be printing A or B, and we'll be printing okay, you know what, before I print the third value, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to install an extension. I'm going to go to the extensions panel here, or press Ctrl Shift X to get the extension marketplace and search for Magic Python, right? And there we go. We have this library right here. I mean the extension of it. Magic Python, which is syntax highlighting for cutting edge Python. I'm just going to install it. I'm going to close the tab, go towards the bottom and type print and hit enter, and then continue the work. This gives you better highlighting when you have much more complicated code. Okay. So now in brackets, I'm going to type not A, and you'll see the magic. So can anybody tell me what the output is going to be for this program? We'll have three outputs. That is completely sure, right? Three outputs. People are saying no sound. That is not true. There is completely sound on all platforms. Please don't say that. Okay. Don't spread wrong messages. So what's going to be the output here? False, true, false. Do the attendance mandatory? Yes, as a matter of fact, we are going to be having an attendance sheet that does take more information from you, and all the major classes and sessions will have, you'll have to give your attendance, and you have to have a minimum of 85% attendance to get the certification. And you also need to clear the tests that will give you. There will be 3 tests and 2 projects throughout this course, okay, throughout 30 days. So after every 10 days there'll be a test, and after 15 days 1 project, and after 15 days towards the end of the course 1 project. Okay, this is how it's going to work. You have to score a minimum of 70% on all tests to clear them. This is mandatory. Okay, and all resources required to study and prepare, everything will be given to you. And the projects we give are not things you will find online. We'll give you real world projects that you'll have to actually use your brain to write the code. Just because I program, I can make a logic, it doesn't mean that you can too. Okay, we want you to rack your head and look for those ideas in your brain and make the programs yourself. So I can see people are already saying false to true, false to false to true, false to false, false to false, true, false, false. So let's just run it and see who was right. So false, true, false. F, T, F. Okay, that's the correct combination. Whoever has gotten that combination, congratulations, you guys have done great job. Okay, if you missed yesterday's test, that's completely fine. That was just an introduction test to show you what kind of level of Python you know. Now we already know how the level of people's average knowledge of Python is. So that was for internal use. That was not a graded test. Okay, when we take a graded test, you will be informed beforehand. Okay, we do expect excellence. Okay, we are the world's most advanced cyber defense research and education institution. So we are competing with the likes of Stanford Cyber and Carnegie Mellon Cyber Defense. Okay, and we have better and more advanced syllabus than them. So we do expect a certain standard from all of you and a certain level of hard work from all of you guys. Okay, because see, if you do not get that bare bones marks, we cannot help you. Okay, I'm already informing you 10 days before that these are all the marks you need to get, how the test is going to be structured, etc., etc. If you missed the test yesterday, it's completely fine. Don't worry about it. We'll have a first graded test soon, so you don't need to worry about the test right now. Today there is going to be attendance. The form will be shared to you in around half an hour more. Okay, and it will be shared to you through both YouTube and on only on YouTube. Okay, not on Telegram, because there are people on Telegram who are not joining the sessions. So what we'll do is, if on the third class also I see that only say 500, 700 or 800 people or maybe 1000 people are joining, I am going to give you guys a link to a separate Telegram group. We're going to make our own Telegram group and we're going to shift that. Because see, 7,000, 10,000 group you can keep. Okay, not a big thing. Marketing we can do. 1 lakh people can also join us. But if they're not joining the sessions, if they're not learning, it's hard for you and it's hard for me. It's hard for everyone. So we might separate you guys, those who are attending and regularly and getting good attendance. So watch out for that. Okay. So moving on. What happened here was, and logic is very simple. So I'm going to actually write the logic here, so you guys get an idea. True and true is equals to true. True and false is equals to false. False and false is equals to false. And the fourth one is going to be false and true is equal to false. So this is the AND logic. So now let's use that and see what has happened here. A is true and B is false. So true and false will give us false. Is the first answer false? Yes. So we have understood the logic. Okay. Now let's do the OR logic. So the OR logic is true or true is true. True or false is true. False or true is true, and false or false is the only thing that is false. So let's use this table now and try to understand what has happened here in the second print command, where we do print A or B. So here we can see that when you take A, right, which is true, and you put OR, so true or false. So true or false gives us true. So you can see the second value is true, which clearly goes ahead with our logic. And in the third case here, we have not A. So whatever A is, just reverse it. So whatever A was, we reversed it. We can do the same thing here. Okay, I can just have a print statement which says not B. Okay, and save and run the program. And the output is going to be true for the last one, because the actual value is false, but we just reversed it. So not actually reverses the true to false and false to true. Okay, so these are the so-called logical operators. These are much more powerful than you might think. Okay, they are used in almost every single commercial application you've ever touched, every single Android app or iOS app you've ever touched. Basically, they are the very fundamental building blocks of programming. You will see them everywhere. Okay, So these are logical operators. I hope everyone's understood that. I'm going to let this screen be there for about 60 seconds, and then I'll be moving on, okay, to bitwise operators, which is the next topic. Students, please do not spam the chat, okay? The bot will automatically start blocking you, and then if you request me to unblock, there is nothing I can do from my end, okay? It's all already programmed. 7-10 messages in 1 second is clearly bot behavior, or you're manually copy pasting it that many times. Please do not spam. I repeat, please do not spam the chat box. Okay, some students are expecting me to explain the not operator again. The not operator takes the value of the the identifier or the variable after it and just reverses it. It's a reversal operator. So true becomes false and false becomes true. Hence why for A we are getting false and for B we are getting true, even though we can clearly see their opposite values have been declared in our code. Okay, so that is why the not operator is used. So I think now we can move on. So let me remove all this code. Let me save the file so now we have a clean file. And now we are going to look at bitwise operator. Okay, don't worry. After bitwise, we only have one more operators. Technically, there's two more, but there's actually many operators in Python. But for the basics, absolute bare bone basics, I'm not gonna take your time more into operators today. We'll be going into much more advanced ones when the time comes. Okay. Also, some people are asking about OOPS concept, which is object-oriented programming. Unfortunately, no, we will not be covering object-oriented programming because that is like a 300-hour deep course in its own, which is a paid course that we do here at Cybervidyapeeth. That is not covered in this free course. So if you're interested in learning object-oriented programming, deep object-oriented programming, and how to develop security products or maybe your own mobile apps or websites using that, then you can refer to our more advanced courses like the Vinoba Bhave University course, which we have on our website, or you can also look at different certifications we have, okay, in the trainings page on our website. If you want to contact us regarding any and all of these courses, you can do so by going to mentor@cybervidyapeeth.in. Okay, so let's move on. So now I'm going to go ahead. Okay, and we are going to look at the bitwise operator. So a few things that I want to explain to you before getting into the bitwise is that, as the name suggests, okay, the bitwise operators do logical operations. So they are like logical operators. You can say they're kind of like logical, and you'll see why in just a second. So they are the AND, the straight line, also known as the pipe symbol, or in Python known as the OR symbol, comma. We have the tilde sign, also known as the not symbol in Python. We have the up hat sign, also known as the to the power of sign, also known as the XOR, XOR, or exclusive OR. Okay, so this is called as XOR or exclusive OR. This is called as, I'm just going to mention it for your convenience. This is not, this is OR, and this is AND. Okay, so I think that should be pretty clear. What is XOR and how it works? We'll come to that. Don't worry. XOR logic, I'll make a table and show you guys how XOR works. Okay, then you have the right shift and left shift. So the right shift is like so. This is called the right shift, and then you have the left shift, which is like so. Okay. So I think this should be more than good enough in terms of all the bitwise operators that we have. So let's have a look at them through code, because as you know, I love code. So A equals 10 and B equals 3. I'm keeping the number same so that you guys can reproduce it at your location when you are coding it yourself. Okay, so I'm going to type print again. Let's go back to our handy dandy print command. A and B. Save and just run. And the output is 2. Can anybody tell me why the output is 2? Let's see. I'm using the AND operator right now, as you can see. Okay, this is the AND operator. The output is 2. And if you want, while you guys are guessing why it is 2, I'm going to quickly add all the other ones as well, so you guys were able to have a look at all the output. Again, this is a little advanced, so I'm not, I'm not expecting you to know this, but I still want you guys to try it out. Okay, there we go. So we have the output now. So I want you guys to figure out why the output is as it is. Okay, see, I'm not gonna make your life easy. Okay, I'm not gonna just give you the answer. I've already shown you multiple logics. Okay, I can see a few students already know about this. Exactly, well done. Who is the name? I wanna announce the name. It's Indrajit Singh and Riya Rajput. Both of you have done a fantastic job. Okay, you've given the exact on-spot answer. If I combine both your answers, it's a 10 out of 10 answer. Okay, bitwise means work on bit. 10 was changed to its bit value, and then 3 was changed to its bit value, and then bitwise AND was done, which results in 0010, which is 2. So now that you know that logic, you know that the OR, the NOT, the XOR, the right shift and the left shift, all of them are being done using bits, right? So the values are converted into bits and then the operation is performed upon the bit values. Okay. So I think this is pretty clear. If you do not understand this enough, next class, the first 10 to 15 minutes, I'll have a program, a proper program, okay, where I'll show you where it is used in the real world. So you will have a little bit more idea right now, okay, than right now. But okay, people are saying to repeat. So bitwise operators convert the values that they are provided into bits. You know now that everything is stored in bits, binary numbers, single digit binary numbers. How do bit look? A bit can either be 0 or it can be 1. A binary number can look something like 0011, which is 2. Okay. So not 2, sorry. 0010, right? 0010, yes. So you have multiple binary numbers. You can also, so this is 4 octets. You can have 1101. You can have 0011. You can have 1010. So for example, this is a number that you would frequently see when you're dealing at the lower level, at the CPU level. Okay. Not telling you what this number is, what it does, but it's very required for Intel CPU chips. So this is how binary looks. So what the Python interpreter is doing is it's converting 10 and 3 into bits, and then it is doing the AND operation, the the OR operation, the NOT operation, the the XOR operation, as well as doing the right shift and the left shift. If you do not understand any of this, tomorrow we'll have a detailed program explaining this. Okay. So today I'm not gonna go too deep into this because again I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. Moving on, we'll go back to the PPT. So in the PPT, you can see that we've looked at the arithmetic operators. We've looked at the comparison operators. We've looked at the logical operators. We've looked at the bitwise operators. We still haven't looked at membership, identity, and assignment. These three are there for tomorrow. What I am expecting from all of you is that you go ahead and try to figure out where membership, assignment, and identity is used. This is your homework for today. Okay, you can consider this as a homework. You can Google up these terms: assignment, membership, and identity operators in Python, and you can do your research on them, because when tomorrow I come, I'll have a long program, 30-40 line program, which will be using all 3-4 of these. Okay, all operators, one example will be there, and I'll be doing something interesting with that. So I want everyone to be able to follow me. Okay? So you're going to have to do some research on your end as well. Okay. Now, here you can see the list of all arithmetic operators on screen right now. Just give me a second. Yes, I should be much more clear now. So here's all the arithmetic operators. As you can see, we've already gone through all this, right? Then you have the assignment operators. We have not gone through this, and this is a sneak peek into what we'll go into tomorrow. Then you have the comparison operators, which we've actually gone through with, right? So we've already gone through the comparison operators, which is the equals to, not equals to, greater than, less than, greater than, equals to, and less than, equals to. We've also gone through the logical operators. Okay, so there's always that. Then if I move on, we have also gone through the Python. No, we have not. Interesting. So this is also there for tomorrow. So we'll be going into this. Okay. So here's a sneak peek for you. If you guys want, you can, pause the video here, just have a look, read what's going on. Again, this is your homework. So I'm expecting you guys to do the homework. Then we have the bitwise operators, which we did see today in action. Okay. And then finally, we'll go to the next topic, control flow. So control flows and logic statements, right now I'm not going to go into that. So I think that this should be enough for a break. After coming back from break, we'll be going into 2 more topics of Python before ending today's class. Okay. So Let's take roughly half an hour break, a 30-minute break. Okay, you can keep the stream open, and please like our stream and subscribe to our channel. You and press the bell icon. Okay, so that way you will get regular updates about our courses, and we'll be dropping many videos. Okay, live hacking videos. We'll be doing many live streams just for YouTube. Okay, that will be there on YouTube even after we do them. So you will be able to watch those live streams, those videos, those shorts, and learn a lot about cyber defense, red teaming, blue teaming, and ethical hacking as in general. Okay. So we expect to see you there. So let's take a 30-minute break. And when we're back, we're going to go into two more concepts that I have intentionally missed. And after we are covering those topics, we'll end today's class. Okay, students. I hope you had a very productive break. Let's continue and move towards the end of today's class. We'll be discussing two more concepts today. Okay. uh, which are going to be basically not related to Python, but instead related to Linux. Okay, because I can see that a lot of you are having issues with Linux. A lot of you are texting me, telling me that, sir, how to get the Linux, where to get the Linux from. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to share my screen so you can have a look at the Linux. Okay, the Linux installation. So my screen should now be visible to you. And I'm actually going to go to kali.org. It's the official Kali website. So now that you can see the Kali website, okay. Okay, people are telling me that there's an issue with the share. Okay, tell me now if it's okay or not. It should be completely visible now. Okay. Also, please increase your resolution. By default, Windows might take you to 240 or 360p or something. You want to go to HD 720p, okay, and it's going to be completely clear. So here's the Kali Linux website, and what you want to do is hit the download button right here. Okay. Now on this website, you can use the installer image if you're wanting to install it on your local system, or you can use the virtual machine image. Okay, I am using the virtual machine, so I'm just going to click on that. Then you have to choose which platform you want. Do you want VMware or do you want VirtualBox? Say you want VMware, so you have to click on the download button for VMware. If you want VirtualBox, you have to click on this download button for VirtualBox. Okay, so that's how you put the download. Say that you want to install it on your laptop. So the procedure is a little different. You have to get the installer image. When you click and you go down, here is the installer image. It's around 2.9, or you can say roughly 3 GB. You can just click the download button and the download for the installer will start. So let's give it a few seconds. So you can see the servers are not really fast. So if you're having issues with the download, what I recommend you to do is, and this is the recommended way of doing it because I do it this way, you can look for a program called qBittorrent. Okay, this is a torrenting application, and torrent is nothing but a protocol. Okay, it's just a protocol, a P2P, a peer-to-peer protocol that lets you download files from other people's systems. So what I recommend is using this software to download most of your Linux ISOs. And the way you can do it is as follows. You can go to the download button right here. You can just download the latest stable installer. So when I click on it, it takes me to FOSS Hub, free open source software hub. I'm going to go down and I'm going to look for the Windows 64-bit version. Okay, because I'm running a modern 64-bit system. I'm going to click on the executable to launch it, to launch the exe file. It's going to take a few seconds to load up the installation. It's going to ask me, do you want to give it the administrator permissions? I'm going to hit yes. And now you should be able to see the screen that is in front of me. So now you want to run, you want to hit OK, next, accept the license agreement, make sure you read through it, hit next, make sure you select all options here, and hit next, and install. Just like that, we are going to get the qBittorrent application installed. Okay, so I'm going to give it 2 minutes. Let's wait for 2 minutes for it to go ahead and complete the install. There we go. The moment the install is completed, I'm going to launch qBittorrent. So I'm going to hit the finish button, agree to this file sharing program disclaimer, and there we go. We have qBittorrent up and running. Now what you want to do is you want to go ahead to go to the get Kali section, right? And this is only for people running 64 or 32-bit computers, Intel, or AMD computers, or an Apple M1 or M2 MacBook. Okay, you're gonna go to 64-bit because that's the one I need. I'm gonna click on this icon right here which says the torrent protocol. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to download a .torrent file on my system. So I'm going to click the .torrent file, and it's going to open the .torrent file inside qBittorrent application. I'm just going to hit OK. And you have seen the download speed on my normal system, so I want to show you the download speed that I get in torrent. So as you can clearly see, this is almost a 3 gig file, and the speed at which it's downloading is insane. So torrent is like 99% of times faster and more reliable than say your direct HTTP or FTP downloads. Okay. Though a word of caution, malware can also easily spread on torrents. So before you download a torrent, confirm where you got the link from. I got this link from kali.org, so I don't need to worry about security because I know they're not going to put a malware in their own operating system because they want people to use it. But if you're getting it from some sketchy website, you might want to be a little more careful. And just like that, I think we are almost there. So let's wait for the download to finish. There we go. Download's finished. Now to install this onto your Linux system, what you have to do is you need to have a pen drive, a 8 GB or a 16 GB pen drive. I have one right here in my hands right now. You want to plug the pen drive into your system, which I just did, as you can see. ESD-ISO D drive was detected. That's a pen drive. Now that the file is downloaded, I'm going to download another tool. So I'm going to go to my browser and search for Rufus. Okay, and download the Rufus from rufus.ie/en. You can see a lot of ads here. Please ignore all that. I'm just gonna go ahead and download Rufus. Close all the ads. Download the exe file. Give it the administrative permissions to run. Hit yes. The dialog box will open up. I'm going to hit no for checking for online updates because I don't want it to connect to the internet. It automatically detected my 8 GB pen drive. Then I'm going to go to the second option, which is boot selection, which says disk or ISO image, please select. Just beside that, there is a select button. I'm going to select that button. Go to my downloads folder and find the installation image for Kali Linux. Wait for the image to get loaded up, and then just hit start. Okay, yes, and there we go. Just like that, Kali Linux is now being installed in a pen drive. So in case you want to use Kali Linux or Ubuntu or any any Linux distribution, you'll find an ISO file. You just need to plug your pen drive in, download Rufus, and flash it up. Okay, this is a sure short way of doing it on Windows. All the Windows users out there, you can do this. For Mac and Linux, the command that you're looking for to do the exact same thing is called dd command. So you can actually just look up the dd command in Linux. Okay, and here's a Geek for Geeks page that you can read through to understand how to use this and how to flash an ISO image. As you can see, they're flashing an ISO image here. So you can just read through that and understand how to use this command. You're going to have to use the terminal or the command line on Linux to do this step. Okay, especially when Kali Linux is involved. But on Windows, Rufus will do the job perfectly fine. Now I'm not going to actually boot into Kali and show you Kali today, but this way you will have a pen drive setup. Once you have a pen drive, you need to follow the steps on the Kali Linux website. So you can go to kali.org again. Okay, you can go to the Kali Linux documentation right here. Go to the installation section and go to installing Kali Linux. Okay, now you just have to follow through all the prerequisites and make sure that you're reading every single line. Okay, as long as you follow through, you'll have absolutely zero issues and you will have a Kali Linux installation. Okay, Kali Linux already has all the tools you require for this entire course, so you won't have any issues whatsoever. So in case you are interested in going ahead with this install, I highly recommend going with Kali. If you do not want to go with Kali, then the other distribution I refer to always is Ubuntu. which is also fantastic. You can just go to the download Ubuntu desktop section, and here you can just download the Ubuntu desktop. Okay. You can also prefer MX Linux, which is also a very stable Linux distribution. It's a mid-weight distribution, which is not really for laptops, it's for desktops. So if you're running a desktop, you might want to use MX. Okay, MX is based off Debian and Ubuntu, so you're going to have absolutely no issues. Okay, once you have the ISO image, you already saw the steps. You just click select the ISO file and start, and it will make a pen drive with that Linux system, so you can boot into it and then install that Linux. How to install Linux is something we don't cover. So you can actually go to hundreds of YouTube videos out there and have a look at that. Okay. So better understand how to go ahead with it. Also, please note, Parrot OS, we are not providing support for Parrot OS, Blackbox OS, and Black Arch OS. These other operating systems that claim to do security work, because the entire industry uses Kali. Okay. Most serious red teams and blue teams actually do prefer Kali. So we're going to be going with Kali for this course and for the ease of usage as well. Okay, it has all the tools pre-configured for you, so you don't have to really worry too much. If you want to learn advanced level computing after you are used to say MX Linux or Ubuntu, I prefer Arch Linux. Okay, so you might want to look into what Arch Linux is. I'm not explaining that here. I'm not going into what Arch Linux is. I'm just telling you that something like this exists. You might go into this, but this is an advanced distribution. Okay, so please do not jump into this as a beginner of Linux. Okay, you will have so many problems and you'll just drop Linux. Instead, start with Ubuntu, Kali, Zorin, MX, Manjaro, you know, these distributions, and then migrate to more advanced ones like Arch Linux. Okay, that's how we recommend learning Linux. It's, you know, this is basically how you learn Linux, because Linux is a entire field of its own. Okay, so I'm going to be taking questions now, so you can type some some relevant questions in the chat box on YouTube. Once the questions are done, I'll end the meet. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys around 2 minutes. Please type your questions in the chat box. So someone is asking, why Linux? Why do we need to go with Linux? Why can't we live with Mac or Windows? So see, the thing is, Windows and Mac, okay? When you buy Mac, you get the Mac OS for free, right? When you buy a Windows laptop, you get Windows for free. When you make a desktop, you can get a pirated version of Windows, right? It's not that we support piracy, but you can easily get it. That's the truth in India. Why? Do you think Microsoft does not know, or Apple does not know, that you're running this OS? They do know. Okay, so there's something called as telemetry and tracking that both almost every big company does on their customers. To prevent said telemetry and tracking, Linux is the best option you have, and the world runs on Linux. Your Android is Linux, your iOS is Linux, even Mac OS is a cheap knockoff of Linux. If you didn't know, okay, Mac OS basically stored code from Linux and BSD, Berkeley Software Distribution. So even Mac is a copy of Linux in BSD. So the real thing is so much more better. It's much more compatible, much more powerful. From supercomputer to satellites to your Android and iOS device, all of it uses Linux under the hood. Okay, and as you get deeper and deeper into cyber defense and cyber security, you will realize that there is no operating system better than Linux, because nothing provides you the anonymity, the privacy, the security that Linux gives you. This is why we keep saying that you need to get into Linux now as a beginner, because it takes years to master Linux. Okay, Linux is like a huge book of knowledge. Imagine like a 40-50,000 page book, and then you'll still not be there, right? So it's a huge thing. It takes time. You start simple and then you go into the more advanced concepts. So that is why we recommend Linux. Is pen drive necessary? Yes, unfortunately, you can get a 8 GB SanDisk pen drive. You can find it in India for very cheap as 100, 200, even 300 rupees. You will find a pen drive. Sometimes even cheaper if you get a second-hand pen drive. So you can always look for a second-hand pen drive to go ahead with it. Okay. This is for people who want to install Linux on their systems. I am not saying that everyone has to. Hear me out. I am not saying everyone has to. I am saying those who are interested in learning Linux from now only, they can do this. Okay, those who want to do it in a virtual box or in VMware in a virtual environment, they can do that as well. Our course will have absolutely no difference if you do it in a virtual box or you do it on your hardware. We are just giving recommendations here. Okay, you can do whatever you want as long as you complete the course. You are able to run the code I give you. I don't care if you're running OpenSUSE Linux or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. You're learning FreeBSD also, Dragon BSD also, I don't care. If you can handle the code I'm giving you, you can run it on your system using Python and VS Code. Any OS is acceptable, including Windows and Mac. You don't have to remove your Windows and your Mac to install Linux for this course. I hope I'm clear about that. I'm learning CentOS Linux. Okay. You might want to stop doing that because CentOS is a dead Linux. After a few months, the support for CentOS will be dropped. I don't think you've checked their website. So what you can do is you can actually start learning Red Core OS, and there are a few other replacements for CentOS. If you're into server programming, you can also look into OpenBSD, Open Berkeley Software Distribution, which is another tool. Okay. So for now, all I'm expecting from you is, if you're running Windows Mac, get Anaconda and VS Code. If you're on Linux, you probably already have Python. If you don't, install Python and VS Code. That's it. This is all you need to be prepared for, okay? To follow along with my codes for at least the next 8 to 9 days. After that, whatever setup you need to do, Jeffrey, our next instructor, who's be going very deep into machine learning with Python from the basics again, he will help you with the libraries there. Okay, and he'll also show you, because he has a Mac, so he'll also show you how to do the setup on Mac, so that you guys will have an idea. Okay, do we have to download Anaconda? No. If you feel like you can do it in Python, definitely use standard Python. I am just recommending Anaconda because it makes your work easier. One simple 300 400 MB file and everything works. If you want to do it manually, more than welcome. I always prefer that students do it manually. On Kali Linux, Anaconda is not required. No. For most Linux distributions, Anaconda won't be required. How to download VS Code? I've already shown it. Please go back. I've already shown it in today's live stream. You can use PyCharm, yes. Red Hat Linux installation, you can follow Google. It's basically the same as Fedora installation. So you can just follow any Fedora installation guide. And the graphical installation of Red Hat is very easy. So if you have a purchased copy of Red Hat or even a free copy, you can use it, not a big deal. But we don't support Red Hat, just so you know. Okay. Can we run Kali Linux on Windows? Yes, there are more than 6 ways to run it. You can go to their website, kali.org, to get more information. Can we write code on? Ideally, no. You can write code, but I won't recommend it for this course. Use VS Code, because if you write it on ideally, and then I'm showing you some trick or some shortcut and it doesn't work for you, or I'm writing some code, it doesn't work for you, some VS Code specific code, you will be in trouble. Okay. So please have at least VS Code with you, the official VS Code from Microsoft. That is all I'm asking, because that will help you write the code. Okay. So that is also there. Let me see if there are any other questions. Okay. So we'll be sharing an attendance form through the bot. It should go there in about next 5 seconds or so. Please go ahead and make sure that you are filling this link as well. Your records for the present that you've written have been captured, but we also want you to fill this form. Okay, so please make sure that you're filling this form that we are about to share using the bot. Jupyter Notebook. See, Jupyter Notebook is for data science. As long as you have Anaconda, you have Jupyter. You don't need to worry about that. Jeffrey will teach you how to work with Jupyter, very deep settings. Okay. Sir, can I use Kali Linux on my Windows 11 laptop? Yes, you can. Again, their steps are on the Kali Linux website. You just need to go to kali.org. I repeat, you need to go to kali.org. There is entire documentation there explaining you how you can do this. You can also follow YouTube. Okay. Can't able to join in Telegram group. That is not possible. Please don't say things like that, and please don't spam that same message. Okay. You will be able to join in Telegram. It is impossible unless your number has been blocked by Telegram themselves, in which case you're doing something malicious. Okay. So please, first of all, what I want to you guys to do is fill the attendance form. Okay. Please fill the attendance form that's been shared right now. Everyone here, please fill the attendance form with correct information. And I've been seeing that some people in the forms, in the place of WhatsApp number, you're filling India and Jharkhand. Okay, that's not how you fill a form. Okay, please don't do that. When we are saying put a number, we have given you an example of how to put the number. Follow the example for all the forms we give you. Okay, keep that in mind. So I'm going to keep this stream up for about 5 more minutes. You have around 5 to 6 more minutes to fill the attendance form, after which I have an announcement, and then I'll end today's session. Students, the form that is pinned right now, that is not the attendance form. That is the entry form. Entry form must be filled by everyone. Okay. So please fill that also. I'm sharing the attendance form as well. Both forms need to be filled by students if they want to be invited to future sessions. So please make sure that you are filling the second form also that is about to be shared. The same goes on Telegram. It looks like there's an issue on Telegram as well. Okay. There was an issue on our team side, so we'll share you the form for attendance soon. Please, by that time, fill the training entry form as well. Okay. For a Kali Linux install, I'm saying again, please go to Kali Linux website. We do not give support for installation. Follow YouTube and Kali Linux website documentation page. Okay. If you want, I'll share the link with you guys. Please don't leave the session until I tell you to do so. We are sharing the attendance form in just a minute. Yes, the attendance form has been updated. Please use that too, for attendance purposes. The old form link has been removed, but it is available in Telegram. So make sure that you go to Telegram and fill it out. Okay. And just to show you guys something while you're filling the form, if I share my screen and show you my Rufus window, you should be able to see my Rufus. Now you can see that it says status ready, which means that successfully the flashing has happened for the pen drive. Okay, so now the pen drive is ready to be booted into, so that you install Kali on your system, Kali. So with this, I'm going to wait 5 minutes. I have another announcement, one more announcement, and then we'll end the course. Okay, so please everyone fill the form. The attendance link has been shared. Please don't share it in the group or don't share it with other students. Just click on it yourself. Go ahead and fill it up. It should take less than 2 minutes to fill up the attendance sheet. Thank you very much for giving us your time for today's session. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. I've already given you guys the homework. Play around with Linux a little bit, either in a virtual machine or on old laptop which you might have. Boot it up, play around with it. Make sure that you have VS Code, Anaconda, or VS Code normal Python ready to go to play around with different settings and so on and so forth. I do expect to see you guys for the next class, and make sure, okay, that you guys are not putting any spams, because see, we have a system of based on reputation. If you get banned more than 5 times on chat now, it will permanently ban you. Okay, so we do not want you to get permanently banned in our software. That is why we are telling you again and again, don't put spam messages. Don't take the same message and then paste it 10 times. If you do that, you will be blocked. Okay. For all the specifications required for Ubuntu, Kali, Fedora, Manjaro, MX, whatever, please refer to their own websites, because this is not something we are doing. These are third-party programs. So please refer to their websites. They will help you a lot. Okay. So tomorrow, again, classes will be in same time. We are not changing the timing for the next 30 days. So you can expect classes to start at 5:45 and actual study to start at around 6. Stream to start at 5:45 and then classes at 6 roughly. Okay, this is going to happen every single day. Saturday, Sunday, we might make some flexible changes in timings, but Monday to Friday, this is fixed. So you don't need to worry about that. Timings will not be changed. Okay, so tomorrow's timings will be announced in the group. Thank you so much for being part of this journey today. And, make sure I can see you. Okay, I don't want to take your name. The person spamming the same message in chat, if I see your message one more time, will knock your IP off. You'll never be able to join anything ever again. Okay, don't think we don't know what you're doing here. We can see exactly who is joining, your location, your longitude, latitude, all information is available with us. So don't think just because you're using an alias, we won't figure it out. Okay, so this is a warning for those bots and those spammers out there, just so you know that. Okay, so with that, we'll end today's class. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Dhanyavad. Jai Hind.